What's up, motherfuckers? Skulls here. And David Vonderhaar, the game developer for Treyarch Games, he tweeted out something that made me want to figure out what does it exactly mean. Because he told someone asked him, why did he nerf the PDW and the MSMC, and it's the most popular gun in the game? And he responded saying, Google this, correlation and causation. And I'm like, holy shit, this may explain why they nerf or buff certain guns, or why they change certain things in the game because of this correlation and causation, whatever the fuck it means. I had no idea what this meant. I mean, of course causation is something of a cause, but the correlation, like, what is that? I started googling around and I found some good shit, and I think I figured out why they do certain buffs and nerfs. So what exactly is correlation and causation? What does it mean? Well, for correlation, it means the relationship between any two variables. So if one of the variables were to go up, the other variable will go up as well, or if it was to go down, the other variable will go down as well. Like the example that I've seen in a link below, they said if you were to buy more cars, you would be losing more money. You know, so if you were to buy less cars, you obviously would be using less money. You know, it goes together. And for causation, it basically means what it says. You know, it's the cause of something. If one thing, it says it means that one thing causes the other. You know, simple as that. But I've seen a lot of websites saying that correlation does not imply causation. And I read a lot, and I think I figured out what it means for Treyarch Games and their nerfing. So let's look at one of the variables, X, which will equal variety within guns. You know, if there were a low, we're going to say at the beginning of the X value, it would be a low variety, and at the end, it will of course be high. So that's X. Y would be the number of players. Now, I don't know if these are the specific X and Y's that I should be using, but after a shit ton of thinking, this is what I ended up using, you know, because it makes the most sense. So, if you look at the most popular guns in the game, or the best guns in the game, you got the MSMC, the PDW, the FAL, the M8A1. You know, it's a few good guns that everyone always uses, right? So, it'll be what the graph you see right now. It'll be low variety, but a shit ton of people is using it, which means the graph, the slope will go down, which is a negative correlation. Now, what I believe Treyarch is trying to do is get a positive correlation. They want it to be, if there is a lot of variety, they want it to be, of course, a lot of people, you know, or the other way around. Because there's a lot of people playing the game, that should mean a high variety in the guns that they use, right? I mean, I think that's what they want. Now, in order for them to do this, they have to balance the guns. You know, they got to take some damage away, increase some recoil and things like that. So only a select few people who actually use the SMG because it's an SMG will be using it, and that'll bring more variety to other people. Now, that doesn't necessarily cause the variety, which is why they say correlation doesn't imply causation, because it gives the opportunity for variety, but it doesn't correlate to the cause of it being more variety upon all the players. I mean, if you really think about it, I mean, look at the MP7. When the last time you seen them nerf or buff the MP7? You know, directly that gun. They never touched it because it's already, I guess, balanced, or it's already fucked up, if you want to look at it that way, because a lot of people say it got a lot of recoil and all that. So they never really touched that because they didn't need to, because not that many people use it. And the people that do use it, they use a lot of other guns that are not that great. And what they're trying to do is have all guns in each category be equal or close to being equal to its counterpart. So all the SMGs are probably going to have around the same damage, around the same recoil, so that way you can choose variety in the games. Now, this should correlate to more variety with the number of players that play their game. but it doesn't necessarily cause that to happen. You know, for them to balance all the guns, it's not going to immediately have people using all different types of guns, you know, what they kind of want. And the reason it doesn't directly cause it is because there may be some people who didn't know about the update, you know, so they're not gonna start using different guns. There could be some people who don't care about the update, they're still gonna use the SMG, is because they know how to use the SMG. They know to stay in close quarters, you know, they're not gonna try to shoot somebody across the map. So you have that as a factor. So it's not gonna necessarily cause it, but they hope it at least correlates it. You know, I mean, it's a little confusing, I know, but if you look at the links and watch the videos that I got in the description, you'll understand as much as I do, I think. So, why did I choose the x-axis to be the variety and the y to be the number of players? I've used a few different x and y axes, and this seems like it makes the most sense. And I've seen some video by some pro player who said that they are going to balance some guns so yet there is variety in their MOG games, you know, so you don't always see the MSMC, so you don't always see the M8 and things like that. Which is why I think they're doing this or looking at this, is so there is variety, you know. So that's why I use variety, because it seems like, at least for the MOG players, they want variety. Like, they nerfed the Cap 40s, and Optic Nate Shot, he made a video talking about, are they OP because everyone is using them now. So you gotta make them balanced, so that way it will become, hopefully cause variety. Because if you look at previous Call of Duties, and if there was a good gun or the best gun, they were always going to use that. Like with the pro players in Modern Warfare 3, they always used the ACR, they always used the PP90. Why? Because they were the only good guns that they could use, so they didn't feel at a disadvantage if they were to use something like the UMP or even the fucking PM9, you know. So that's why they used those specific guns, and it didn't create variety. So in order for them to cause variety, hopefully, is to balance the guns, you know, nerf it a little bit, or buff the other guns that are obviously just terrible. And I would like Bondahar to see this video so he can tell me, at least, you know, either by a tweet or by a comment, if he comments, to tell me, like, did I get this shit right? Did I really figure out what they do in order to figure out what guns need to be nerfed, if they need to nerf guns? Is because they're looking for a positive correlation. They want the amount of people that actually play this game, they want it to be a high variety between everyone. You know, they don't want it to be the other way around, where it's low variety and everyone uses 2 or 3 guns, where the people that use high variety is only a few hundred or a few thousand or whatever. They don't want that. And since they can't necessarily force more people to play or force them to change their guns, they have to do something else. They have to add another value in, which is balancing the guns or making whatever the best gun is worse. So in order for you to understand a little bit more, please read the articles, the blogs, the videos that I have in the description, so yet you know as well why they do this, so you can stop bitching and making videos like, oh my god, why did they nerf this? It's because a shitload of people are using it. That's why they keep nerfing the SMGs, because everyone uses them, and they know that there are some good guns in the assault rifles, you know, maybe the shotguns, which is why they buffed the M12, because not that many people used it. Not many people use the variety to use that gun as well. You know, now it's actually good. Now you have the choice to choose it. It won't cause you to choose it because it's a better gun or a better damaged gun, but it should hopefully correlate to that. But anyways, motherfuckers, please go look at the links. That's it, and I'm out.